This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and I wish I had more time to do things like review accessories for our YouTube channel, but I don't. Now, if you go to mobiletechreview.com, we have all sorts of accessory reviews, written ones with photos, but once in a while, it's easier to bring a group of them together. And for the iPad Pro, now we all have our favorite accessories and things that we use, and yours may be different from mine, but I'm going to show you some of my favorite accessories now. Stands, cases, that sort of thing that make it more easy to use and make you more productive with it. We're going to look at them now. Now, first up for me is, well, maybe the obvious one for an iPad Pro, but not for all of you, and that would be the Apple Pencil. If you're going to use this for note-taking or art, trust me, it may be expensive, but this is the best solution out there. It makes all the other Bluetooth and capacitive styli just seem pretty darn weak. This one is very precise. You get edge tilt support, really nice for drawing. So there's accessory number one. That's an easy one. Now, in our long-term follow-up review, I complained that the pencil was too slippery. It is really slippery and just a hair too thin. I like the weight. I actually like the length because some of us do draw in a painting style like this, and I'm holding it near the end. So enter Slickwraps. They have a wrap for the pencil. It's like 10 or 15 bucks or so. A variety of finishes. This is one of the faux wood finishes. Now, this is a very curvy, slippery surface, so I find I have to keep pressing down the seam every so often to keep it in place. I should have maybe wiped this down with alcohol thoroughly to make it stick better. The top section here, you know what, this is on here just to show you. See this here? That's designed for it to fold over the top there. This is a difficult thing to cover. It really doesn't work, so now that I've showed it to you, I'm going to take it off and never use it again, because it looks just nice like this, and it does what it's supposed to do. And there's a piece that covers over here, which I really did lose. Now here's one in leather, and you can see the pieces that you get. So this is the one that wraps around the body. This wraps around the tapered part on the tip, and this is the cap cover. And there's a little dot you're supposed to put right on the end. Good luck keeping that on there. Anyway, I like it just for the body wrap. It works really well. Like I said, it makes it more grippy, just a slight bit thicker. Good stuff. Now, Slickwraps also makes covers for the back. Now, there's all sorts of cases out there for iPads, goodness knows. Not as many for the iPad Pro versus regular 9.7-inch iPads. But still, you know, for a tablet that is this big, and it's, you know, it's not heavy, but when you start throwing a big protective case that wraps around it, you're looking at more of a laptop carrying experience, and I really wanted to keep the kind of light, slim beauty of this. And generally speaking, I handle it carefully enough, so I'm only worried about scratching the back, because the backs of iThings do scratch fairly easily. So Slickwraps has these covers. They're about 50 bucks or so, but they have sales all the time, so you'll probably find it cheaper. And this one is called the Chaos Clown. Now, they have a bunch of different illustration style ones. They have faux wood backs that are very convincing in a variety of finishes. You got your leather. So there's all sorts of nice looks. So it does indeed protect the back, and there's just a few nicks on this where I have managed to bump and bang this. It protects it fine. It's pretty easy to put on. It's that 3M adhesive, so if it does get too scratched up eventually, you want to put another one on, you just peel it right off again. It wraps right around the edges. So it covers the edges, protects them as well. It's done the job for me. I like it pretty well. And there is also a piece that goes around the bezel. I personally don't have a need for that, so I haven't put it on, but it does come with that if you wish to have it. Now, some of you like screen protectors. I actually am not a screen protector person. I'm pretty careful with it. It's not easy to scratch this glass, but there are some matte screen protectors out there. Again, more for you art types if you want more tooth on the glass and less glare. I know there's some on Amazon. They're like 2 for 10 bucks, and some artists really swear by them. So go check out some art blogs about the iPad Pro, and you'll probably see some recommendations if you really want to have a screen protector and you want the matte kind. Next, there are keyboards, and I do use this actually to write reviews. And when we did our initial review of this, we used the Logitech Create keyboard. There are 3 keyboards currently out. There's the Logitech Create, and that's, again, watch our original review to see that. And that one's a big wraparound. It has a rigid keyboard with backlighting. The backlighting part I liked. It felt kind of a little bit bulky, though, and I was a little bit worried about the keyboard touching the screen. So this is Apple's own smart keyboard. Now this is $169, so it's a little bit more than the Logitech Create, and it connects using the 3-pin connector. So there's no having to charge it, no Bluetooth, no nothing like that, which is also true of the Logitech Create. And you just drop it on and it magnetically lines up, and there it is. Now the drawback is there is only one tilt position when you're using it. That's not so great. The keys, at first I thought I was going to hate this thing. It's a fabric covered, and they do they do actually move, kind of keyboard. But you know what? It's sort of like the 12-inch MacBook. It feels like you're going to hate it, but you actually type pretty well with it. So this is the one that I've been using because, again, it keeps the slim form and it protects the face. Since I don't use a screen protector on it, that's important. Now, this one, you know, you'll have to brush up on your geometry and trigonometry to figure out the different positions. But once you get a hang of it, it's not really that hard. I do find without having a protector on the back of some sort that sometimes it does slip when I'm using it in stand mode, and you can use this in stand mode, and like so. So you flap your keyboard in like that, tuck it in. Once you learn it, get the hang of it, it works just fine. You just got to make sure you got your triangular wedge firmly against the back of it. So it does the job as a keyboard case. It doesn't protect the back, hence I have the Slickwraps on it. Last, there's going to be a Zag keyboard just coming out now that's sort of like Windows tablet keyboards, the detachable 2-in-1s, and it's a rigid section. It's a keyboard that's backlit. It looks pretty nice. Connects at the bottom as well. So that one's only just coming out. We're going to try to cover that one too. But for me, so far, actually, the Apple one is the one I use the most because it's slim, light, and it protects the screen really well. Now, how about stands? This is called the ParcSlope. Park with a C, not with a K. And here it is. It's made by 12 South. That's what the box looks like. This is the older box where they originally envisioned this as a MacBook stand or MacBook Pro stand. Now they are remarketing it as an iPad Pro stand as well. Now that's pretty darn clever. This costs about 50 bucks, by the way. Because here it is. Very nicely made. Their metal stands are really, really nice stuff. So it's got rubber over here, it's got rubber over here. So what you do is, this is for artists particularly, because you want it pretty much at this incline if you're drawing. And I use this all the time when I do digital painting and drawing. It's sturdy. It's obviously not going to move, unlike some repositionable stands that are not that firm. It actually does sit on my lap, as long as I put my knees together in just the right way. So I can even draw on my lap. And this has worked out a lot better than using pillows, crossing my legs, whatever it is that you normally do, because this is heavier than, you know, obviously a paper sketch pad. So you just need a little bit more support. So that's the ParcSlope. Now, for more minimalist stuff, you just want to prop it up to watch Netflix, which is something that I do with it. We have the Stump. You've seen these Stumps. We've used these in several tablet reviews. They're available in different colors, as you can see right here. They're about 25 bucks. They're a piece of hard rubber. It says Stump on the bottom if you get the genuine Stump. There are knockoff ones you may find that are reasonably good as well. So it's got 2 notches, 2 slots, so you have 2 different positions that you can put it in. You can have the bigger tilt and then the even bigger tilt like that, which is not real steady with an iPad Pro, so you can only use the main tilting section. And of course, you could prop it up in portrait mode, but I don't think people are going to do that as often. If you are using it, say, to read books or something like that in single page view, you could prop it up in portrait mode too. And lastly, as sort of like the ParcSlope effect, you can actually just lay it on top like that. Now, as long as you don't poke just on a corner here, that's not very stable. So you really have to be a bit careful about that. But if you're just using it to look at it primarily, then certainly this works. Lastly, this is another stand you've seen us use from time to time in reviews, and this is made by Arkon. It's usually about 15 bucks. Other companies have copied this design, and it is adjustable. You can see you've got a kind of gear ratchet here, so you can bring it in or move it out. You can do it independently between the 2 of these. Now, for something like the iPad Pro, you want to bring it out as far as possible. The back here, you want to adjust your tilt angle, and this is pretty firm. Not firm enough for a heavy hand with drawing, though, but obviously you've got a bunch of different tilt angles. So you just plop it on like so, and there it is. You can have it fairly upright like that. You can drop it down further. So pretty versatile, and for, like I said, around 15 bucks or so, hard to beat. It's lasted us for years, so it might not look like much, but it works, and it's got nice little felty and rubbery material right here, so it's not going to scratch your beloved and expensive iPad. Lastly, there's external battery packs. Now, the iPad Pro's battery does last a very long time, particularly if you're used to Windows laptops, but still, you know, on the go, there's a chance that you might drain it. If that's the case, you're going to need one of the higher capacity external batteries, not those 3,000 and below that are meant for phones, but you're looking at 6,000, ideally 10,000 or better, because there's quite a large battery in our iPad. So we have 3 examples right here. This is the Moshi 10K. This is awful pretty, isn't it? And you open it up and you've got the USB, you've got the lightning cable. And on the side, there's a little charging indicator, another USB port. So with 10,000 milliamps here, you're looking at over 6,000 milliamps in the iPad Pro. This will almost charge it from empty to full, but there's always some loss in the rating of one of these external battery packs versus what you're going to get in terms of your device that you're charging. So if we move up in size, we have this one. This is 12,000 milliamps, and this should certainly give it a full charge. And this one actually comes with its own little charging socket too. And it can charge two devices at the same time, though I would say if you're doing an iPad Pro, I would stick to just doing the iPad Pro because it's so much a bigger battery and more drain. And then here's my favorite right now. This is crazy. This is 20,000 milliamps right here, and it's pretty slim, and it's pretty, well, relatively speaking, light, given that batteries are heavy, and this is made by Vinsic. It's only about $50. Isn't that crazy? And it's even got a little digital LED display that shows you the percentage of the charge on the side, and you've got a variety of connectors here for USB. Does not charge the 12-inch MacBook, however, but this will charge the iPad Pro, and this certainly has enough to charge your iPad Pro once and then partially again, if not completely. So there you have it in 5 categories, from productivity keyboards to the pencil to charging to protection to stands. These are some of my favorite accessories for the iPad Pro. Hopefully that'll help you figure out how to accessorize yours. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.